I'm Rachel Hernandez, real estate investor turned mobile home investor and best-selling author. I make a living investing in mobile homes for cash flow for long-term passive income. After many mistakes and lessons learned, I've been able to create the kind of life where I can do the types of things I want to do, not have to do. I created the Adventures in Mobile Homes podcast to share with you what I've learned so you can spend more time with family, friends, and do things you love. Mobile home investing can help you get there. If you want to hear real stories with practical and actionable advice you can use from someone who's been in the trenches and who's still investing today to create the type of life you love, then you're in the right place. Let's get started. Well, hello there, and welcome to the Adventures in Mobile Homes podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl of AdventuresinMobileHomes.com. Thank you so much for joining me here on the 19th episode of the podcast. Now, just in case you missed it, be sure to tune in to the last episode where I talk about how to work with sellers for your mobile home investing business. You can find it along with the show notes at www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/18. And that is the number 18. Okay, so let's get started. So last week, I talked about how to work with sellers once the calls start coming in and the steps you can take to talk to sellers and eventually meet with them as a mobile home investor. Again, when it comes to working with sellers, be sure to ask the right questions over the phone first to see if it's worth your time to even pursue the lead. Just because a seller calls you doesn't necessarily mean they're motivated to sell, or ready to sell for that matter. But today, I want to take a moment to talk about mobile home investing and what it really is. So I'm going to go back in time and talk about the history of mobile home investing, the resources out there to help you, the different ways you can invest in mobile homes, and at the end, I'll answer a few questions people have about it. Now, if you're already familiar with the subject, then this is going to be a trip down memory lane. But if you're new to mobile home investing, well, you're in for an educational learning experience. But before we move on, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Hey there, Rachel here. Are you interested in mobile home investing? If yes, I've got a free mobile home investing course for you. It's called What You Need to Know to Get Started in Mobile Home Investing. It details all the ins and outs of what you need to know before you get started as a mobile home investor. With so much information out there, it's overwhelming to go out and search for what you're looking for. So I put my knowledge and expertise in mobile home investing to work. And it's all in this free training course. You can find it at www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/free training class. Again, www.adventuresinmobilehomes.com/free training class. Grab your seat and get started today. Now, back to the show. Okay, first things first. Let's go back in time and talk about the history of mobile home investing. How did it get started in the first place? So basically, the system was created by Lonnie Scruggs, many times referred to as the godfather of mobile home investing. So, who is Lonnie Scruggs? Well, at the age of 41, Lonnie bought his first rental property in 1971, and he sold his last rental property in 2006, 35 years later. During this time, Lonnie was in the used mobile home business for 19 years, from 1986 to 2005. Now, that's a long time. And here, he bought and sold mobile homes in parks, which is what I do, using owner financing. So here's how it works. Similar to an auto loan transaction, when you're buying a car, buyers would give Lonnie a down payment and make monthly payments to him with interest until they paid off what was owed. This was known as a promise to pay, or a promissory note. So soon this method of buying and selling mobile homes became known as the Lonnie deal. And the money that came in every month from buyers, Lonnie liked to call mailbox money. Now, one of the things Lonnie used to say was, "Never let the mail carrier pass your house without leaving a check." Lonnie wrote the book, which I mentioned in episode 2, My Mobile Home Investing Journey, where I had the course first, which turned into a book, Deals on Wheels. And this is the book to learn how to get started in buying, selling, and financing used mobile homes for cash flow. Now, Lonnie also has another book called Making Money with Mobile Homes. And this is the other book to learn about how to invest in mobile homes, which continues Lonnie's journey as a mobile home investor. Both are great books, which I highly recommend. And by the way, I'll be linking up all of the resources mentioned here in the show notes. So, no worries. I've got you covered. Now, unfortunately, Lonnie passed away in 2013. It was a sad day for everyone who knew him, including me, as I was one of his students. I wrote a piece on him titled, "Thank You, Lonnie Scruggs," if you'd like to check it out, which I'll link up here in the show notes. He definitely will be remembered as one of the greats throughout history. So then, the torch was passed, and I came along as one of Lonnie's students. I started my blog, Adventures in Mobile Homes, back in 2007, where I started writing about my stories and experiences investing in mobile homes in parks, just as Lonnie did. Now, I continue to invest in mobile homes and share my stories with case studies and updates, allowing Lonnie's vision of mobile home investing to live on. I'm the author of the book, Adventures in Mobile Homes, how I got started in mobile home investing and how you can too, which is a modern version of how to get started in mobile home investing from my viewpoint as Lonnie's student, based on my own experiences as a mobile home investor. Now, my style of investing is slightly different than Lonnie's style, which is explained and detailed in the book. If you're interested in learning more, I'll link it up here in the show notes, as well as some of the interviews I've done where I talk about how I invest in mobile homes myself. Apart from the book, I also have this podcast, Adventures in Mobile Homes, with yours truly, Rachel Hernandez, which you already know about since you're listening to it here. Though, just in case you missed it, you may want to go back to episode 1, titled Mobile Home Investing 101, if you want to know exactly why I started this podcast and what it's all about. If you've been listening, thank you so much for your support and continuing to listen to this podcast on a regular basis. I really appreciate you. Now, next on the list, we've got Tony Colella. Now, Tony was also a student of Lonnie's, and he also started investing with mobile homes in parks, just as Lonnie taught. Though, after a while, he expanded and got into buying mobile homes with land. So when it comes to buying mobile homes with land, Tony is the expert and the go-to person. As a former police lieutenant, Tony started investing in real estate in 2001. Though after a while, he soon began to buy mobile homes on land and got out of buying mobile homes in parks altogether. Now, Tony is the author of the book, Investing in Mobile Homes with Land, which details his journey into buying mobile homes on land and his experiences with them. In the book, Tony talks about his stories about how he acquired mobile homes on land that he bought, how he financed them, the work involved to fix them up, and lastly, how he filled them with tenants when he rented them out. It is considered the book to read for anyone looking into investing in mobile homes with land. I'll be sure to link it up here in the show notes, along with my review on the book. Now, along with the books I've mentioned, there are other mobile home investing books out there. I've talked about them in my list of the top 10 mobile home investing books, if you'd like to check it out. And no worries, I'll be sure to link it up here in the show notes, along with my reviews on them. So now that we know about the history of mobile home investing, let's talk more about it. What exactly is mobile home investing? Well, when it comes to investing in mobile homes, there are basically two types of methods to invest in them. You either buy and invest in mobile homes in parks, or buy and invest in mobile homes on land. So let's talk about both of them. The first is mobile home investing in parks, which is what Lonnie did and what I continue to do today. So when it comes to investing in mobile homes in parks, basically, you only buy the home, but not the land where the home sits. In this case, you own the mobile home as personal property, not attached to land, but not the land underneath. As for the land itself, that is owned by the mobile home park. So you, as the investor, pay the park lot rent every month in the form of a lot lease agreement to allow the mobile home to stay on the lot. If this lot rent is not paid every month, then you can get evicted. And yes, mobile homes can be evicted from a park. Now, I won't get into this subject right now, but I may cover it in an episode down the road. So stay tuned. Getting back to it, as a mobile home investor, you receive money from the home by either selling it or renting it. But remember, before you can do business in a park, you need to check with the owner or the park manager. I cover how to talk to the park manager in episode 8 of this podcast, just in case you missed it, which I'll link up here in the show notes. Now, if you sell the home, you can sell it either in cash for one lump sum or for payments, which is what Lonnie did and what I do today. On the other hand, if you're renting out the mobile home, then you receive a monthly payment, just like any other landlord, as rent for the home. Investing in mobile homes and parks is a technique used and taught both by Lonnie Scruggs and me, Rachel Hernandez. Okay, let's move on and talk about mobile home investing on land. When it comes to investing in mobile homes on land, basically, you're buying both a mobile home and the land where the home sits on. Now, in this case, you own the mobile home as real property attached to land. So you own both the mobile home and the land together. As a mobile home investor, you receive money for the home and the land by either selling it or renting it. If you sell the home, you can sell it for cash or for payments. On the other hand, if you're renting out the mobile home, then you receive a monthly payment as rent. Investing in mobile homes on land is a technique used and taught by Tony Colella, who I mentioned earlier as a go-to person to learn how to invest in mobile homes on land. Lastly, let's talk about mobile home park investing, which involves buying the entire park. Now, this is a hot topic and niche right now in real estate investing. There's a lot of competition out there. And I cover this in episode 13, The Truth About Mobile Home Parks, just in case you missed it and want to check it out. Getting back to it, buying a mobile home park involves purchasing the land where all the mobile homes sit on in a community. Now, regarding the mobile homes themselves, it will depend whether or not the homes are owned or not owned by the residents who live in the park already. Otherwise, the homes will be owned by the park or individual mobile home investors like Lonnie and me. As a mobile home park owner, you receive money from the lot rent received for each mobile home on the lot. In addition, if you, as the park owner, own the mobile homes in the park, many times called park-owned homes, then you also receive money from the homes by either selling them or renting them out. Now, if you sell the homes, just like investing in parks, you can sell them for cash or for payments. On the other hand, if you're renting out the mobile homes, then you just receive a monthly payment as rent. I've seen this done both ways in many parks that I work in. Now, as mentioned before in this podcast and in my blog, there's a lot of controversy when it comes to mobile home parks and their owners. In an episode of HBO Last Week Tonight, comedian John Oliver went over the state of mobile homes and mobile home park investing, which I found both entertaining and educational. And it sparked much controversy regarding mobile home park investing. As a hot topic of real estate investing, there is much to be said about real estate gurus who teach about this subject and what they don't tell you about investing in mobile home parks. I won't get into it here as there's much to say about it, but I'll link up an article I wrote about it in the show notes. So these are just a couple of ways and methods of investing in mobile homes. Now, let's get to some questions some people have about them. Here goes. Is investing in a mobile home a good idea? Well, if you're ready to invest and have your finances in order, which I've advocated many times on the blog, then mobile home investing can be a great way to earn cash flow on the side. Though you'll need to learn your market, which I talk about in episode 5 of this podcast, and you'll also need to have an exit strategy in place on exactly what you intend to do with a mobile home, either renting it or selling it. Okay, next question. How do you make money investing in a mobile home? Well, we covered it here. But to make money investing in a mobile home, you will either buy mobile homes in parks or buy mobile homes on land. Here, you have the option of selling the homes or renting them out. If you sell the mobile homes, you either sell for cash or collect payments until the home is paid off. If you plan to rent the mobile homes, then you receive money as rent for them. Are mobile homes a bad investment? Now, this will depend on your knowledge and experience level as a mobile home investor. The number one factor that will determine your success, whether you choose to work in mobile home parks or on land, is whether or not you choose to work in mobile home communities that work with your personality and attract the type of clientele that you feel comfortable with. I learned this the hard way when I bought my $2,000 Nightmare, which I've mentioned briefly in this podcast, and I'll cover it in a future episode, so stay tuned. But when it comes to mobile home parks or mobile home communities on land, there are many different types to choose from. So again, it's very important to learn your market beforehand. And lastly, is it cheaper to buy or build a mobile home? Now, depending on what type of mobile home you're looking for, it may be cheaper to buy a mobile home already built than to build one yourself. Now, this is a question I've gotten a lot lately, which is pretty interesting. But usually, mobile homes that are built by the manufacturers are regulated by the federal government, by HUD, aka the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. So you'll need to abide by their standards if you choose to go that route. But honestly, that means you'll have to be a manufacturer of mobile homes, which involves a lot of money and red tape. So I don't think it's best to go down that road as a mobile home investor just starting out. So there you have it. My answer to the question, what exactly is mobile home investing? And the history and the resources available, including books and articles on the subject. Wow, can I just say that was such a blast from the past? Personally, I really enjoyed this episode and putting my thoughts together about it and sharing it with you. I hope this episode helped you to learn more about mobile home investing, its origins, and its history, and to show you where to go if you need more help to learn about mobile home investing in each specific area. Now, if you'd like to read more about what I just talked about, I'll link up a free guide I wrote titled Mobile Home Investing Made Simple, a step-by-step guide which details everything that I talked about here, and the links to all of the resources mentioned. So what did you think? Did this episode help you as a mobile home investor? I hope so. If you've enjoyed the show and find value with it, please consider supporting the show. I've enjoyed this podcasting journey so far, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. Now, I'll include a link in the show notes on how you can support me if you'd like to check it out. For more information on this episode, check out the show notes where I link up some of the resources mentioned here. You can find it at www.adventuresonmobilehomes.com/19. And that is the number 19. Again, www.adventuresonmobilehomes.com/19. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to share it with family and friends. And be sure to subscribe. If you have some time, I'd love to hear your feedback through a short Apple Podcast review. Until next time, this is Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl of the Adventures of Mobile Homes podcast, signing off. Thanks for tuning in.